The first part of our nail art studio training is going to be sort of a NAS 101 for those of you that are either new to Jamberry or just new to using Nail Art Studio. So you start from your own website and go to Shop, Nail Art Studio, and then Get Started Now. We'll have you log in. And I've created several designs. These are all of my approved designs. So when you first get into the studio, at the top are your approved designs, and you can scroll through the pages of those. And then if a design has been declined for some reason, this one they declined because they said I did not have the copyright for this image. But I did, and I've used it in the past and given it to them. So I had to reply back, and I'm waiting for them to respond. And then these are the items that I have as a work in progress. So if you go to the top, when you're first getting started, you will go to Create New Design. And the way that I typically start my Nail Art Studio designs is by getting a background color put in. Now this can vary, and I will show you in future tutorials how to use PicMonkey or Pixlr to create different backgrounds. But today, for this session, we're just going to go through the objects that Nail Art Studio provides. So I usually start with an oval. So again, that was objects, and then I clicked on the oval, and then expand it out. And when you expand the color or the design, you need to make sure that it goes past, well past this blue outline here. Otherwise, it will have a white edge and most likely would get declined by Nail Art Studio. So then you can choose a color. And for this one, I'm going to go with somewhat of a purple. I don't really like that purple as much. If you go here and click on More, you can adjust it. So you can change, so that was maybe more of a magenta and I want more of a true purple. You can do that and then adjust the depth of the color here and hit choose. And then that was the objects. And if I go and want to put a pattern on top of it, there are a lot of options that Jamberry provides to us. For this, I'm going to use a polka dot pattern. I'll put that in, and I can adjust the size of this to change how the polka dots look. If I want them closer together, do it like that to get more polka dots within the picture. And then again, we can change the color of these to be whatever we choose. So let's go with more of a magenta color. I don't know why it's, there we go. And for this, once it's done, you can click apply and it will apply it to the one wrap that has a line below it or apply to multiple. I'm going to do this as a mixed mani with 3 different designs. So I will choose every third wrap. And this is, one side of the sheet and this is the other side of the sheet. So I try to have the design not be with the same number. And then apply design to selected. And then for the next wrap, I'll do the same thing. I'll start with a background color. This time I want the background to be that same magenta color, and it puts the colors you've used most recently down at the bottom so you can continue to carry the same sort of design elements throughout. So this time I want that to be that color. For the pattern, I'm going to do a chevron. in the same purple that we used before. And again, you can adjust this down so you get the pattern how you would like it within it. Oh, it did not save the color. Try again. Okay. And you can take this too and do it at an angle if you wanted to. If you wanted to do a diagonal stripe or a diagonal chevron, or if I wanted to do a vertical chevron, that might be cute and different. That. For this one, I think I'll leave it straight because I want the chevron to be somewhat smaller. And then again, apply multiple. This time I'm doing the wrap next to the one that I just did. Then apply to multiple. Right, and then we'll do one more design, and this one, again, I'll start with objects, start with a background color. I'm going to go with purple again. And I'm going to put polka dots again. This time, actually, and to delete these, you can just hit delete on your screen, on your laptop to make sure I have the smaller polka dots. Okay, and this time I'm going to make these white because I want to show you an element that you can do. So you can do multiple patterns. So now I'm going to put a chevron back on top of this again. Do this one in the magenta color. And you can see the polka dots are in the background. So you can do it like this, where you have the chevron in the front and the polka dots in the back, or I can send the chevron to the back and have the polka dots in the front. I'm not sure I like that, so I am going to delete it and try a different pattern just to show you the different options. I really like this pattern here, the quatrefoil pattern. Change its color to the magenta. Again, apply to multiple. I'm going to do the numbers that we have not used yet. And then when you are finished with the design, you'll come up here and make sure you give it a title, because once you've submitted the design for approval, you cannot come back and change this. If you leave it as untitled, it will not have a title. I'm going to name this just Purple Power for these purposes. Check mark, and it is saved. It will save periodically throughout, but if you are concerned about losing any of your work, you can come over here and hit save, and it will make sure that it's saved all the work you've done up to that point. Now there are other options within Nail Art Studio. You can add other objects, butterflies, flowers. You can add a heart to the design. Maybe I want to put a heart there in a color that is completely different than what we've been doing. Let's just do maybe a bright blue, just so you can see the element there, or white. And you can apply just to apply to one area, or you can apply to multiple again, and I'm going to show you what happens whenever you apply to multiple and the design is not exactly the same for the different size wraps. So you can see I applied that to multiple. It looks fine on the larger wrap, but as you get smaller, it cuts off part of it. So it's very easy just to click on each individual wrap, make an update, and hit apply. You can apply just to that one wrap. And if you want the same design on both sides, so that it's on the cuticle edge of both sides of the wrap, you can copy this. So if you just select the image, hit copy, it will give you a copy. Then you can move it and rotate it. Don't forget to rotate if you want the wrap to look the same on both sides, so that it will line up on the cuticle edge on the other side as well. Again, you can apply to multiple. It should have the checkboxes the same, so apply design to selected. And then you can go back through and adjust them if you want. Let's say on this one, I'd want the heart more to be at the edge and not in the center. You can also apply, these are the different objects that they offer. You can also do text, and they have a couple of different fonts. I tend to not use the text within Nail Art Studio. I usually design my text within PicMonkey, which I will show you, give it a transparent background and add that in. So that's typically how I add in text, so I have more font options. But if you wanted to add in text yourself, you can do that here. And then uploads, which I use a lot. I typically make my backgrounds. Occasionally I do use the Nail Art Studio items to add to it, but there are uploads here, and you can upload different backgrounds that you can create. Like I created this one in in PicMonkey. So I can take this throughout and make a wrap that way. Delete that out. So again, I will show you how to create more of the backgrounds and do other items within Nail Art Studio in another video. But for now, this is sort of a 101 of Nail Art Studio. And trying to think if there are any other tips that I can give to you. I do play around with the different pattern options and combining different patterns. I really like taking like the quatrefoil design and adding, try playing around like this where I can add in the same design, make it a different color. I would put it in the back since it's the secondary color, and apply. So play around with that. I'm going to leave this one this way so it's a simple design. Once you're finished with your design, you would go to preview, to see if you like the way the design looks, and it'll give you an idea. Say if this chevron, I wanted it to be more centered where the V goes in the center, I could go back and move it over and save it and come back again. And then you will agree to the terms and conditions at the bottom and hit submit for approval. And it will make sure to confirm with you that you do not have any of the image inside of the blue bleed line. And then submit. Go back to your designs. If you ever create a design also that you want to just build from that design, you want something similar, you can always come here, hit view, and create a new project based on, so it'll do a copy of this so you don't have to start from scratch. All right, I will do hopefully a couple of other videos later today for you showing more on getting different backgrounds and how to use a little bit more of the elements.